Picture this. You're standing in line somewhere. Coffee shop, airport, concert, doesn't matter. You're just waiting, scrolling your phone, half awake, and then you notice something that feels off. Almost every guy around you looks the same height. Not short, not tall, just average. Same posture, same slouch, same tired energy. And your brain doesn't flag it as a problem because this is what you're used to seeing. This feels normal. Then, later that night, you're online and you see an old black and white photo. Soldiers, a full formation, World War era, or medieval, or Napoleonic, perfectly straight lines, boots on the ground, chests up. And suddenly something clicks. Those guys look bigger, taller, more solid, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And no, this isn't nostalgia. This isn't back in the good old days nonsense. This is biology quietly tapping you on the shoulder. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Soldiers in the past were often taller, more physically developed, and more robust than the average modern man. Not because they had better genetics, not because they were special, but because modern life slowly changed the environment that builds the human body. And most people never notice the cost. Now, the first reaction most people have is instant rejection. That can't be true. We have better food, better medicine, better technology. And on the surface, that sounds logical. But biology doesn't care about comfort. It cares about signals. And once you understand the signals the human body needs to grow properly, this whole thing starts to make sense in a way that's honestly kind of disturbing. Here's the thing most people don't understand about height. Height is not a fixed genetic outcome. Genetics gives you a range, not a final number. Your environment decides where you land inside that range. Nutrition, physical load, hormones, stress, sleep, sunlight, all of it matters. And for most of human history, the men who became soldiers were not average samples of the population. They were selected, filtered, pressured. In ancient armies, medieval armies, even as recently as the 18th and 19th centuries, there were minimum height requirements for soldiers. Napoleon's infantry, for example, often required men to be around 165 to 170 centimeters tall. That doesn't sound impressive today until you realize the average male height at the time was lower than it is now, meaning soldiers were already physical outliers. They were the biggest, strongest men their environment could produce. And here's where it gets interesting. Archaeological data shows that in parts of medieval Europe, average male height was equal to, or in some cases slightly higher than, men living in the same regions during the early industrial period. Let that sink in. The Industrial Revolution, the thing we credit for improving life, actually coincided with people getting shorter. Not taller, shorter. Why? Because factories didn't care about human development. Cities blocked sunlight. Poor living conditions increased disease, and cheap calories replaced real nutrition. People ate enough to survive, but not enough to fully develop. The body adapted by doing what it always does under stress. It conserved energy. Growth became optional. Think of the human body like a construction project. Genetics is the blueprint, but nutrition, movement, and stress decide whether the building gets finished or abandoned halfway through. Ancient soldiers didn't have protein shakes or supplements, but they had constant physical activity, real food, outdoor exposure, and a lifestyle that forced their bodies to complete the job. Bones respond to load, muscles respond to resistance, hormones respond to environment. Ancient life sent clear signals: carry weight, walk long distances, fight, recover, repeat. Modern life sends mixed signals: sit, snack, stress, scroll, sleep poorly, repeat. And this is where modern life quietly sabotages growth. Today, kids sit for 8 to 10 hours a day. Screens replace sunlight. Ultra-processed food replaces minerals. Chronic psychological stress replaces short bursts of physical stress. And movement becomes optional. The body doesn't interpret that as safety. It interprets it as stagnation. Growth signals weaken. Bone density decreases. Posture collapses. Testosterone drops. And yes, final adult height can be affected. There was a well-documented increase in average height in countries like the Netherlands during the 20th century, once nutrition, public health, and physical activity improved. Dutch men became the tallest in the world. That alone proves something critical. When conditions improve in the right way, humans grow bigger. But comfort alone is not improvement. Fake comfort actually does the opposite. During World War I, British military recruiters noticed something that shocked them. Young men from rural areas were significantly taller and stronger than those from industrial cities. Same gen,